In just 9 minutes, uncover 10 shocking takeaways from Stephen Bartlett's talk with Dr. Sarah Wakeman on alcohol's hidden dangers, brain damage, cancer risks, and why most rehab fails. This is what they never told you about addiction. Takeaway 1. Alcohol causes more harm than we think. Recent research shows that the amount of alcohol it takes to harm our health is much lower than what most people believe. Even drinking a single glass of wine a day can put someone in the moderate risk category. This level of drinking is linked to nearly every form of cancer. If someone drinks 2 glasses of wine daily, it can raise their cancer risk by about 40%. Dr. Sarah Wakeman makes it clear that alcohol is not just a harmless way to unwind, but a substance that affects nearly every organ in the body. It damages the brain, the liver, the heart, and even our DNA. Many people compare it to dessert or processed food, but it is far more dangerous in the long run. For example, the liver processes 90% of alcohol, and repeated drinking can cause fat to build up in the liver, which then turns into scar tissue, eventually leading to liver failure or the need for a transplant. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 2. Even small amounts raise cancer risk. There is no completely safe level of alcohol when it comes to certain cancers, like breast and esophageal cancer. Even drinking within what is considered low-risk limits still increases your chances. Dr. Wakeman explained that for breast cancer, women drinking below the standard limits still had about a 5% higher risk. While that might not sound big, it adds up when we consider how many women are at risk. A woman in the United States already has about a 13% chance of developing breast cancer in her lifetime, so a 5% increase makes that number even more concerning. For example, a woman who drinks 1 small glass of wine daily for years, thinking it's harmless or even good for her heart, is quietly increasing her risk of a hormone-driven cancer without ever realizing it. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 3. Alcohol changes your brain structure. Alcohol does not just make you feel relaxed or buzzed. It actually changes the physical structure of your brain over time. Dr. Wakeman explained how brain scans show that the brain of a 43-year-old person who drinks heavily can look like the brain of a 90-year-old with dementia. This damage affects memory, decision-making, and emotional control. The ethanol in alcohol crosses the blood-brain barrier quickly and interacts with systems like dopamine, GABA, and natural opioids. These are the same systems that regulate pleasure, anxiety, and pain. Over time, alcohol changes how your brain reacts to stress and pleasure, making it harder to enjoy life without drinking. For example, people who used to find joy in hobbies or socializing may feel numb or anxious unless they drink, which deepens their dependence. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 4. Addiction is not just bad behavior. One of the biggest misunderstandings about addiction is the belief that it's about making bad choices or having no willpower. Dr. Wakeman emphasized that addiction is a brain disease, not a moral failure. She described it using the 4 C's: loss of control, compulsive use, continued use despite harm, and craving. Many people keep drinking even after their health, relationships, or jobs suffer because their brain has been rewired. Trauma and genetics are the main causes, not laziness or lack of discipline. For example, someone might drink every evening to deal with anxiety or past trauma. Even when they try to stop, their brain's reward system keeps pulling them back in because drinking has become their way of coping with emotional pain. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 5. Trauma is the real gateway to addiction. While people often talk about marijuana or alcohol as gateway drugs, Dr. Wakeman says trauma is the real gateway. Studies show that people with a history of childhood trauma are much more likely to become addicted later in life. Even adult trauma can be a major trigger. Addiction becomes a way to escape the pain. Alcohol activates the brain's natural pain relief system, giving temporary emotional relief, which makes it incredibly addictive for people with deep emotional wounds. For example, someone who felt neglected or abused as a child may discover in adulthood that a few drinks silence the inner pain. This relief makes alcohol feel like medicine, and the habit becomes deeply rooted. We're halfway through the video. Thanks for sticking with us. If you're enjoying it, hit the thumbs up and share it in your WhatsApp groups. If you'd like to support us, please tap the thanks button below. It helps us keep making great content. Drop a comment and don't forget to hit subscribe for more. Now let's continue with the video. Takeaway 6. Most people with addiction feel alone. Addiction thrives in loneliness and isolation. Dr. Wakeman explained that connection is the opposite of addiction. People often use substances to fill a void where relationships or purpose should be. Many people struggling with addiction live empty lives with no job, no strong relationships, and no sense of meaning. So when they stop drinking, they are left with silence and boredom, which leads them back to alcohol. For example, someone trying to quit might last 2 weeks, but if they sit alone every evening watching TV with nothing to look forward to, eventually they will drink just to feel something. What they really need is human connection and support. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 7. Most rehab programs are not effective. Despite their popularity, many rehab centers do not offer treatments that actually work. Dr. Wakeman criticized the standard model where people go away for a few weeks expecting to come back cured. Real addiction treatment is long-term, often requiring both medication and therapy. Many rehabs rely on group therapy, peer support, or even unproven methods like horse or dolphin therapy. Meanwhile, they ignore science-based approaches like cognitive behavioral therapy and medications that reduce craving. For example, someone may go to rehab for 3 weeks, do some group sessions, and leave without any real tools to handle stress or trauma. It is no surprise when they relapse soon after. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 8. Medications can reduce alcohol cravings. Many people do not know that there are effective medications that help reduce the urge to drink. One such medication blocks the brain's opioid receptors, which stops the pleasurable feeling people get from alcohol. When people use this medication before drinking, they often find that one drink is enough and they do not feel the urge for more. This breaks the cycle of binge drinking. For example, someone who used to drink 6 beers at a party might take this medication and feel satisfied after just one, helping them stay in control and avoid future health risks. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 9. Society must stop shaming addiction. One of the biggest reasons people do not seek help for addiction is the fear of being judged. There is still a deep shame attached to admitting you have a drinking problem. Dr. Wakeman pointed out that people often whisper their pain because they fear losing their job, housing, or even custody of their children. We need to treat addiction like any other health problem, not a personal failure. For example, a man may appear happy and outgoing at parties, but once told a friend in private that he was in so much pain and rehab had failed him. What he really needed was understanding, not blame. Now let's move to the last takeaway. Takeaway 10. Fixing addiction needs bigger change. Solving addiction is not just about telling people to stop drinking. It requires fixing the broken systems that feed addiction. That means creating affordable housing, stronger social support, and community spaces where people feel safe and connected. Childhood trauma and poverty are root causes that cannot be ignored. Dr. Wakeman said if she could change anything as president, she would start by making children's lives more stable and connected. For example, a child who grows up in a neighborhood with parks, safe schools, and family support is far less likely to turn to alcohol later in life compared to one who grows up in chaos and neglect. Here is a brief introduction about Sarah Wakeman. Dr. Sarah Wakeman is a leading addiction medicine physician and the medical director for substance use disorder at Mass General Brigham. She also serves as the medical director for the Massachusetts General Hospital Substance Use Disorder Initiative and is an associate professor of medicine at Harvard Medical School. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support this channel, hit the thanks button below. It really helps us keep going. If you enjoyed this summary, please leave a like and share it in your WhatsApp groups. To join discussion about this video, drop a comment below. And for more videos like this, hit the subscribe button below.